Yo, what's up, everybody? So I decided to make another video. It's almost about to be 12:30 a.m. August August shit 15th. Yeah, it's about to be August 15th, 12:30 a.m. And in this video, I'm gonna be doing Bud Light review. Now, this is not the very first time, obviously, that I've had Bud Light beer. This was my first drink, my very first beer, my very first beer of choice I had way back when I originally turned 21. Just to give a short backstory, it was about, I'd say, 2 months back in 2013 after I had turned 21. I legitimately refused a family trip with my mother and my sister and my nephew just so I could go to the liquor store for my very first time and make my very first legal purchase of alcohol. And at the time, Bud Light was the one that I chose. So, I figured I'd give you guys a review, my own personal take, being that I am not like, other certain people out there, other reviewers that like to, shit on beer and just, alcohol in general. So, we'll get straight to the point. Bud Light. Just got it out of the fridge, ice cold. I actually had, I had been drinking with some close friends. I had I'd say about 6, 7 of them prior to this one, so I'd say that this is my eighth, ninth one. So, crisp, clean pour. Now that's how you pour fucking beer. Right off the bat, I'm getting the scent of cereal, grains, a lot of rice, a minimal amount of the corn, the barley, I'd say about medium level, and the hops, I'd say about 2, smell-wise. Lots and lots of the typical carbonation that you come to expect. Let's see here. Let's pour the rest of this. There we go. I would like to think that way back when Bud Light came to be, from that point on through the 90s to throughout the 2000s, I'd like to think that the ingredient process in this beer used to be something different. Therefore, I like to think it had a better taste. This was probably a lot better back in the old days, from the time it started throughout the 90s and throughout the 2000s. I don't know if... Let's take a first sip. Okay. Honest observation is, typical watered, heavily watered down cereal, grainy, hoppy, you know, weedy, yeasty taste, along with a light carbonation. You know, I like to think that this had something better to it, back when it was originally introduced. And then, throughout the 90s and then the 2000s. I originally had this in 2013, around the time I turned 21. Um, there wasn't really much to give there around that time, obviously because I was, so young. I was a brand new drinker. I was new to alcohol and all that. Um, I like to think, like many beers and many brands, there's probably been, at least a few changes in ingredients and possibly brewing process throughout the decades. And I'm pretty sure, Anheuser-Busch and InBev and, the guys themselves would never admit. But there's got to be something, different going on. My father, my late father, used to be a drinker of this. Ooh. And if he was still here with me today, if he was still alive today, I would have gladly featured him in this and, asked him, if there was anything different about Bud Light beer back, in his time and throughout the 80s and the 90s. From what I understand, he passed away in the 90s, I think a year after I was born. So, but yeah, from what I hear from, close friends and families, Bud Light was his main go-to as far as beer. On a scale of 5 stars, I give Bud Light, I give it, I would give it a straight up 4.5 out of 5. I would like to, from this point on, I would like to officially declare Bud Light beer as everybody's first drink. Just like McDonald's is considered, everyone's first job. I consider this anyone's very first alcoholic drink. It's a undisputed popular brand. I never used to be with it. I never used to be behind it at the time. I went through a lot of phases myself. I went through the craft beer stuff, and then eventually I went through this InBev. I drank a lot of the popular cheap InBev brand, and in the end, I think I find myself settling down more with this, just because it's available. It's widely available in every single format you can think of: bottle, can, tallboy, 25 ounce, the Monster Energy style can, as I call them, the 16 ounces. Not really crazy about their spin-off products, like the seltzers, the flavored stuff, and all that. I'd give it a solid 4, yeah, 4.5 out of 5. My opinion on recommendation is, if you want to drink it, drink it. Drink the beer, drink what you want to drink. no reason to shit on or no reason to fucking take flack from, what you're into and what you're not into. I'd like to think you could be into craft beer and you could still choose this as your go-to at the end of the day. But yeah, all around, pretty flat, watery, heavily carbonated. Um, if poured right and poured correctly, a decent foam head will sustain for at least 4 minutes, from what I've seen. And yeah, all around just the average, normal American light beer, which I consider to be everybody and anybody's first drink. But yeah, that's my take on Bud Light beer. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video.